I noticed I've done a lot of Xbox controller unboxings lately, and I promise this isn't an Xbox channel.
Or is it? Nah.
Let's go ahead and get this Razer Wolverine version 2 Pro unboxed. Here on the back of the box, we have Razer's motto for this controller: connect, control, conquer. That's a lot of C's. We also have a list of some of the key features, but more on those in a bit. Opening the box, we are greeted with the controller, a HyperSpeed Wireless adapter, and 2 replacement thumbsticks. Pulling the controller out of the box, the word that comes to mind is slick. This controller looks excellent. The matte black faceplate goes great with the all black textured grips. On top, we can see the L1 and L2 buttons, as well as the Mecha-Tactile Action buttons. So instead of just 4, we have 6 buttons on the top, because we have R1 and R2 on the right. Now I just need an extra finger on each hand. On the bottom, we have the 3.5mm jack for a wired headset. On the back, there is the Mecha 3, 4, 5, and 6 buttons, as well as sliders for PC or PS5, and wired or wireless connection. Each button is pretty clicky too, so if you like quiet keyboards or quiet controllers, this may not be the controller for you. The controller's touchpad has a nice texture with a Razer Hydra carved into it. We can also see the clear plastic where the LEDs will light up. In this bottom compartment, we have a USB-C cable, which has the lovely green accents. I'm almost surprised they didn't go with blue since this is for the PlayStation, but Razer is green, so I guess I'm not that surprised. Here we have the Razer HyperSpeed Wireless adapter that allows for low latency gaming. We will need this to connect to the PS5 or the PC. I love that green accent. And unfortunately, no, you will not be able to just sync the controller directly to the PS5. You are required to use this HyperSpeed Wireless adapter. Here we have 2 of the replaceable thumbsticks. You'll notice that they don't have threads on them because they're magnetic and don't have to be screwed in. One of them is convex and the other is concave. One of them also happens to be a little bit longer than the other. We don't have anything under the styrofoam, but we do have the instructions down here, which at this point, the only reason they are putting these in the box has to be for compliance reasons. You are much better off just looking them up on the internet. And it wouldn't be a real Razer product if it didn't have their Hydra sticker as well. Razer did do a nice job with the foam on the top here also. The cutout does a good job of holding the controller in place, and it looks nice too. Here you can see it doesn't take much to pull these thumbsticks out. It kind of worries me with how easy they can be removed, but it does make it handy if you want to switch from one style to the next. I wish that it would have come with 2 convex thumbsticks and not just 1. The second replaceable thumbsticks is concave like the other 2, but it's a bit longer. Or I guess I should say taller. I do really like that the thumbsticks on this controller are offset though. I'm also not in love with the D-pad. It feels mushy. It does have a loud click so you can audibly register that you pushed the button. But I can't get past the way it feels. Here I've plugged the controller in so we can get a nice look at the RGB around the faceplate. I fired up Final Fantasy XVI to jump into the action and see how the controller felt while playing a game. It's good enough to get these easy battles done. Here I want to highlight just how much louder the Razer Wolverine is than a normal controller. I'm not saying this is either a good thing or a bad thing. It really comes down to entirely your preference. I just want to make you aware of what you're getting yourself into. I also tried to cheekily plug this into my Xbox to see if I could get it to work with the wireless adapter. Sadly, I could not. However, I could plug this into my PC and play Xbox games on it. That counts, right? I didn't bother with the Switch because I really just love those Pro controllers, so there's no reason to bother with it. It was a beautiful day out during lunch, so I thought I'd get some video and pics of this controller in natural light to try and do it justice. I wouldn't recommend that you play with this controller in a pool. However, setting it out to get some natural light is perfectly acceptable. The lock buttons on the back of this controller also make the L2 and R2 buttons act as instant triggers for increased reaction time on your favorite FPS. Razer calls this the Hyper Trigger. Razer also calls the D-pad the 8-way micro switch D-pad for articulate and precise control in fighting games. I guess I'll have to wait until Mortal Kombat 1 comes out to really put this through its paces. The RGB is compatible with Razer Chroma, so if you have a Razer setup, you can get it all sunk together. All of these Mecha buttons on the back are also remappable. That's it for the Razer Wolverine version 2 Pro Controller for the PlayStation 5. This is a really nice controller, but it also comes with a pretty hefty price tag, clocking it at $250 US. So whether it's worth half the price of a console to you, you'll have to be the judge for yourself. If you've already made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe too. And maybe consider hitting the notification bell as well. That way you're alerted every time I put out a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.